Hello, I'm Gordon from TaraWorks and you're watching Adding Logic to Surveys. This video is going to cover what is logic in surveys, why is it useful, how to add logic to your surveys, and any useful tips and tricks concerning it. What is survey logic? Well, it is basically showing and hiding questions based on earlier answers. Logic is useful because it gives you control. It helps you to skip irrelevant questions or get extra information when needed. It automates the process so it simplifies the training. And all of this helps improve data accuracy. Okay, let's see a quick example. Here we have a very simple job for a crop survey. So the survey functions like this. First, you'll be asked for the date. Second, you'll be asked what type of crops do you grow. For each of the crops that you select, the survey will ask you to specify exactly which type of cereal, fruits, or cash crops that you have chosen. I'm just going to select cereal. I'll come back and show you what happens if you choose the other choices later. It'll also ask you what is the total weight of the crop shipped per harvest. I put in 48 here. Now let's take a look at what happens when I press next. Because I've marked cereal crop in the earlier question, a more specific question about exactly which cereal crop has appeared. Now you could actually go back and make different choices. Let's say now these farmers are growing cash crops as well as another type of crops. Move forward again. Notice that the questions have changed. It is now asking you which type of cash crop is being grown and what other crops are also grown in this field as well. And just to show logic in use once more, we're going to go back, and for the total weight of crop shipped, we're going to change it from 48 to a number over 50. I'm going to put 60. Notice now that an additional question has appeared. If the crop weight is over 50 kilograms, does the farmer own a car or a truck? So as you can see, logic in surveys allow you to show and hide questions depending on the answers that came before. And now I'll show you how to set these logic conditions when you're building your survey. So here's the survey. You can see that there are two sections here. The first section covers the date, which type of crops in a multi-select question, a number question, the total weight. Then you have the types of crops respectively, and if the crop weight is over 50 kilograms, does the farmer own a car or a truck? So once you have saved these questions, click on the Logic tab. In the Logic tab, you'll see the sections and questions in the order that they're built. By default, a question sections are always shown. To set condition for a certain question or section, click on the corresponding edit link in the top right corner. The logic options will then display for that question. Now we want question 4, which cereal crop is grown, when the right choices in question 2 is chosen. So to set the logic in this case, we want question 4 to show if the right choice is chosen in question 2. So we're going to add a condition, choose question 2, and we want this to show when question 2 is cereal. Click Done. You will then see the condition added in this question. Let's do the same for a fruit crop. We're going to add which crops do you grow, and the answer is fruits. There are actually many options packed into this small little box, so let's take some time to go through them. First, you can show a question when a certain condition is met, or you can hide a question when certain is met. In this case, this question will be hidden if the fruit crops chosen is fruits. Second, you can mark the not box. When you set the not box, conditions are reversed. So in this case, you can read this as show question 5 when the types of crops is not fruits. So any choices that is not fruit will show this question. Thirdly, you can add multiple conditions to the same question. In fact, you could base it on the same question, or you could change it to different questions. This allows you to string together multiple conditions. In this case, question 5 will show if question 2, the answer include fruits, and if question 1 has been answered. Now, when you have multiple conditions, this box here becomes important. So for example, right now, question 5 will show if question 2 is fruits and question 1 has been answered. If I select any, this question will show if question 2 is fruit or if question 1 has been answered. So as you can see from this, if your survey involves complex logic, it's best to think through it first and double check. And finally, to remove a condition, simply click Delete. Click Done again to save. We're going to add the same for cash crop. For question 7, which is a text question, we wanted to trigger if it is answered as other. Click Done. For question 8, we wanted to trigger if the crop weight is over 50. And since that's a number question, you could choose greater than or less than. Now before I click Done, the more curious amongst you may be curious why you do not see the other questions being shown in here as possible choices. Normally, you would expect the other questions, question 4 to 7, to be shown here as well. The reason why you cannot select those questions is that because all these questions currently sit in the same section and they show all questions on one page. When questions are in the same page, they cannot be triggered by each other. Okay, let's delete that extra condition. Click Done. It's very important. Whenever you finish setting your logic conditions, you should always double check them. And then click Save. And that's how you add logic to surveys. Finally, here are some tips and tricks when using logic in surveys. First, note that different conditions can be set on different question types. For example, you could check if the answer for a text question matches a string of text exactly. Whereas for a photo or signature question, you can only check if they have been answered. Second, questions in the same show all on the same page section cannot be used as conditions. Sometimes newcomers to ToroWorks forget about this rule and run into trouble setting up the logic. And third, consider cases where the questions you're using as conditioned were not answered. If you're not careful, your survey can behave differently from what you have expected. If you have found this video useful, I invite you to click on the thumbs up button below as well as subscribing to the ToroWorks channel. Should you have any questions or comments, please feel free to enter them in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching.